Jai Shivai. Bhav Samadhi. Bhav means feeling or emotion, okay, or the sensation that it creates in your existence is what is called as bhava. Okay. And now there are so many emotions, right? There is anger, there is love, there is gratitude, there is guilt, shame. So some very negative emotions are there, and then some very positive ones are there. High frequency, high vibrational emotions are there, right? But this is about, Bhava Samadhi is about the emotion of devotion. Okay? Devotion means bhakti. Now, devotion one can have for the Guru or for some Shakti, some Devi, some Devata, or towards Paramatma. Okay? So, this is what this particular emotion of bhakti or devotion is what this Bhav Samadhi is all about. Okay? And we call it Samadhi, but technically it's not the Samadhi from the evolutionary perspective, where a yogi is in the process of serious evolution. That's what not the meaning of Samadhi, the word Samadhi is here. So in other words, we can say that Samadhis, we know that Samadhis are of, lower level Samadhis are of 4 types. Savikalp, Savichar, Sa-Anand and Sa-Bij. And Savikalp is also called as Sampragyat Samadhi, right? And then afterwards there is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the ultimate Samadhi. So, and in that ultimate Samadhi is also called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Nirbij Samadhi, or it is called as Asampragyat Samadhi. Okay, so that is what we call that Samadhi. In all those 4 Samadhi states, lower level 4 Samadhi states means Savichar, Savikalp or Sampragyat or Sa-Anand or Sa-Bij. In these 4 Samadhis, what is happening technically? So technically, a yogi is going through the direct realization of 3 that are Sat or 3 that are existential in nature. One is Prakriti. Prakriti means this entire nature, entire samsara, entire manifestation you can say, which is the equilibrium of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas Guna. Okay? So, a yogi is in direct realization of Prakriti or Atma or Paramatma. And in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there is only Paramatma. Nothing else. So, direct realization of Paramatma is happening there. Union or merger with the Paramatma is happening there. Okay, so these are evolutionary, these are considered as progressive states in yogi's spiritual journey. But Bhava Samadhi is not that kind of a Samadhi. It is called as, there here in Bhava Samadhi, we only have to take the partial meaning of the word Samadhi here. And that partial meaning of Samadhi that we have to consider here in case of Bhava Samadhi is that bhakta or the devotee is one with the feeling or an emotion of devotion and the object of the devotion. So suppose the object of devotion is Shakti, some Shakti, Ma Kali, Goddess Durga, or Goddess Lakshmi, or Shiva, or some guru, okay? They may or may not be in their body, but the guru. So that kind of that higher power, some supernatural or higher power, or some supreme being can be the object of Bhava Samadhi, object of devotion. And then there is this connection, this feeling of, or this bhava that we call devotion is there. So object of devotion, then devotion as a feeling, and then the devotee is there, right? The one who is going through the Bhava Samadhi. So Bhava Samadhi, so in that sense we can take the meaning of the word Samadhi here. Samadhi word is partially used just like this for any other kind of object too. A lot of people do Samadhi on Surya, sun. Some people do Samadhi on moon. Some people do Samadhi on lot of celestial things and celestial objects that are there. Some people do Samadhi on Taramandal, you know, the stars in the galaxy. Some people do Samadhi on North Star, Dhruv Tara. Some people do Samadhi on, you know, whichever thing you do Samadhi on. It's more like, you know, you put so much intense emotion and such an intense dharana you put there that you become one with the object of your dharana, object of your one-pointedness, object of your one-pointed devotion. You become one with that. And then you have the jnana or the knowledge of that particular object. So if you are putting dhyana on the sun, dharana on sun, and you do a sun samadhi, surya samadhi, then the jnana of all the everything related to sun and even your own life and time and space and so much, all those things can happen to you. If you put dharana on moon, then you know so many other things. If you read Yoga Sutras by Maharshi Patanjali, in the Vibhuti Pad, it's the third or second chapter, and it's called as Vibhuti Pad. So Vibhuti Pada's shlokas, if you read, Yoga Sutras if you read, then you will understand that a yogi can do sanyam. Now the modern translation, and I see people talking about samyama. Okay, it's the real word, the actual Hindi word is sanyam. So when you do sanyam or on any particular celestial object or things or this or that, or even on your own emotions, in your own body, in your own panchakoshas, if you do sanyam on that, you will get that kind of a siddhi or the supernatural power. In other words, you will get entire gyan about it. People do sanyam on panch tattva. People do sanyam on one particular mahabhutas or panchabhutas. So anything can be done. And when a particular yogi is doing that kind of a sanyam, it is termed as samadhi, because in that smaller meaning, or in that small, from that small point of view, from that area's point of view, at least the yogi became one with that particular object. So just in that term, we call this samadhi, these samadhis as samadhis. But they are not actually the evolutionary samadhi, where a yogi is evolving, actually going beyond what he or she is, going beyond chitta. So all these, technically another way to understand these samadhis is that all these samadhis means you are still in your existence. These samadhis are the chitta level. These samadhis are at the level of your own chitta. Chitta means man. Chitta means the karmic or sanskaras warehouse, you can say, mental emotional behavioral patterns warehouse, or you can say chit is the memory, karmic memory, where karmasha is stored. So you are still in the level of, at the level of chitta. A yogi is at the level of chitta while going through Bhava Samadhi, or while going through all these other small samadhis that I told you, like samadhi on moon or sun or celestial objects or panchtattvas, panchbhutas, panchmahabhutas, tanmatras, or on your in your existence, panchakoshas, or even in your chakras, specific chakras. So all these are happening. Transformation is happening, and a yogi is at the level of chitta. But in those other real classical samadhis that we talk about, Savichar, Savikalp, Sabij, and Sa-Anand, at that level, a yogi is beyond chit. That means yogi is not playing within his or her existence. Yogi has gone beyond the existence. That means yogi has also gone beyond the entire cosmic existence that you see. And yogi has truly become an Atma. Only an Atma can go into something that is beyond our existence, right? But till the time you have asmitas alive in you, lot of identities of being a bhakta, being a father, being a mother, being a woman, being this, being that, till the time you have asmita alive in you, one cannot go into those classical samadhis, those real samadhis which are beyond time and space, beyond manifestation, beyond your own existence, beyond your own panchakoshas, chit, manas, aham, buddhi, ahankar, mahat tattva, anything. So if you want to understand your own existence, you should watch my Sankhya Darshan videos. There are 3 videos that I have created, and I can provide the link to those videos in the description box below, so you can watch them. So what I'm saying is, a yogi goes beyond the existence, beyond the manifestation, and that is when he is realizing the Atma, Paramatma and Prakriti. Okay, so that is what is happening in those classical samadhis. But these samadhis are still important. These are not, it's not a joke actually. Don't take these samadhis lightly. Why? They are the starting point for any yogi to move beyond, to go beyond. It's very hard to teach somebody meditation, especially when somebody has not experienced any quiet time in their mind, in their head. Okay, and their power of concentration is also not very good. Okay, a lot of emotional turbulence is there in their existence. Pranic energy is not that high. They are not evolved to that level yet. So then Bhava Samadhi is a kind of samadhi which is very easy to perceive, very easy to be in. Okay, and let me give you just a worldly example of a Bhava Samadhi. If you are in love with your child, you feel love with your child, or with your life partner, or with your brother, sister, parents, or towards your guru, or towards anybody. See how well you are able to stay in that emotion of love for some time, right? Emotions are easy to understand. Emotions are easy to perceive or experience in your own existence. All humans, most humans are super emotional beings, and somehow in last few decades emotions have become really, really strong in lot of people, right? A lot of emotional turbulence they go through, lot of emotional things they go through. So it is easy to understand the language of emotion in your own existence. If I ask you to, okay, watch your thought, stay away from your mind, witness your thought, or go to the witness consciousness, it's not that easy. If I tell you to quiet your mind, it's not easy, it's not possible for a lot of people. So initially, we ask them or we give them an experience through Bhava Samadhi. So then what happens is that we ask them to retain this emotion of devotion for some time. Slowly, initially, the intensity of it is weak. You're not able to stand on that emotion, keep that emotion alive in you. You're not able to retain that state for more than 6-7 minutes. But slowly, the duration of that bhava duration of that emotion of devotion increases, and it goes all the way up to 45 minutes to 50 minutes to an hour, and sometimes it becomes throughout your day. It is that long that you are able to retain it throughout your day. So then what it does, it's not that these are useless samadhis or they are of no use to a yogi. They teach you how to stand up and stay and sustain one emotion, one thing in you. And slowly, by and by, the more the devotion increases in a person, the more he becomes, a lot of fears are gone. So in other words, what we are trying to do through Bhava Samadhi is opening Anahata Chakra. It's a very important thing. Super important thing. Opening your Anahata Chakra. Right? Balancing your Anahata Chakra. Giving the energy of devotion to Anahata Chakra. When you are so much devoted, you become fearless. When we were so much in love with our parents as a child, we were fearless. As if all the worries in the world belong to our parents. Nothing belongs to us. We were just careless, free, wild, right? So a lot of people live in fear of what will happen if I do this, what will happen if I do that. So fear is gone and fear is taken care of. A strong faith in Paramatma, God, divine, or you can say strong faith into some higher power, some supreme power is there. And through that, the ego, the aham that you have, the mind which keeps on creating identities and does all the drama all the time in you, it starts to melt down. When aham is broken, is melted to a greater extent, then there is a possibility of moving forward, going through other real stages of real samadhis. So these are more like preparatory things. Everyone who goes through Bhava Samadhi, at times they become so intense that yogis are able to materialize, really materialize things, objects, like Ramakrishna Paramhans. He was able to put bangles, the glass bangles, into the murti, the statue of goddess Kali, Mother Kali. He was able to do that without breaking the bangles. And it's a stone statue and it has hands like that. It's not so easy. That there's no way one can ever put a bangle on those that statue, but he was able to do that. It was his intensity of bhava. Now Bhava Samadhi at times gives the yogi an ability to actually freeze his entire existence or her existence. Freeze. So that frozen state into that Bhava Samadhi, one could be, in a particular posture like this or like that, or whichever posture one would assume. And in that posture, actually the body becomes completely rigid and it's more like a cataleptic state, okay, of the physical body. Body is completely frozen and rigid. And they stay in that bhava for hours and hours. One stays into that bhava. And that because the intensity was so much that state keeps on returning. It starts happening every day. It starts happening and if it becomes too much, we have to stop it. Because it stops you from progressing forward. If you freeze your existence, how will you evolve? Your existence has to melt down. It has to dissolve. Your aham has to dissolve. So in order to dissolve, we stop people, yogis, from going into that physical rigidness, that physically, physical harshness, physical cataleptic state. We have to stop people from going that. Even for Ramakrishna Paramhans, right? uh, his guru actually cut his forehead to break all those states in him and break that bhava in him, break the state of bhakti in him. So there comes a time when a bhakta has to die and bhakti has to go away. Or it's not that it goes away, bhakti has to take another level, reach another level. So from emotions, bhakti has to actually transfer towards Atma. Instead of bhakti coming out as an emotional wave in the chitta, if identity of bhakta is not there, then bhakti will not be experienced in chitta. Instead, bhakti is actually the property, actually the characteristic of an Atma. So bhakti will transcend to Atma, and a yogi himself will give up all asmitas, all identities, and will transcend to become truly an Atma, transcend toward to become a soul. And Atma means soul. Okay, rough translation again in English word. So this is how it progresses. So Bhava Samadhi is considered as rather a preparatory step towards leading towards deeper states of meditations. So you can meditate. If you ask a lot of people, they are so high on emotions that it becomes very difficult to meditate. So we as gurus, and lot of gurus try to give people, give them a vibration, solid vibration of feeling and emotions. And when your emotions in the core, at the core level, means at the level of your chitta, are shaken, stirred up, then you will get rid of all kinds of lower emotions that you have. Feelings of guilt, shame, pondering over past feelings, and thinking too much excessively about who said what, and feelings of indignity, feelings of powerless, feeling powerless, and feeling some other feelings of fear, anger, and so many different lower states of feelings are actually fell off from your existence when a strong bhava is stirred in a people. So that stirring of bhava or emotions is called as spandan. The Hindi word for it is pulsation or spandan. Spandan means pulsation or vibration, or vibrating something to the core of it. So where is emotions arising from? From the chitta. As a chitta vritti. A chitta vritti arises, and that vritti is what is called as, that vritti is what manifests as an emotion in our existence. And that vritti, when emotions are there, thoughts are created accordingly. If you are today in some kind of a grumpy emotion, then all kinds of grumpy things you will think about. If you are in a joyful emotion, your mind will start doing some sort of comedy all the time. You will think of happy things, joyful things, or you will see things in a very light mood, and you will try to be, laugh about a lot of things about which you may be angry if you were in a grumpy mood. So this is what Bhava Samadhi is. So Bhava Samadhi is recommended for all those people in whom bhav or emotion is very strong. And it is helpful to actually get rid of all kinds of negative emotions. It is helpful to open your anahata chakra. It is helpful to, make you a better person. Even if your goal is not going towards moksha, if your goal is not towards the ultimate union with Paramatma, even then Bhava Samadhis are helpful for your physical, mental and emotional health. So if you are interested and if you really would like to go through, we are going to start in March a Bhava program, Bhava Samadhi program, and it will be a 3 days of program, and you can write to us if you are interested, and just with a very nominal cost, and we will do it live, and let's see how many people are able to, attain that state and be in a Bhav Samadhi. And in order to prepare for Bhav Samadhi, you should be doing Anulom Vilom Pranayam at least 30 minutes a day, at least for an hour a day. Try doing that. So twice in a day, like 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. So some preparation should be there. Right? It cannot be experienced just like that. So Bhava Samadhis are a preparation for a yogi to take yogi to next level, to experience the real evolutionary samadhis, to experience deeper states of meditation, where Gyan starts happening to a yogi. So, if you are already into Bhava Samadhi and you are experiencing Bhava Samadhis, then very good, you can analyze yourself. And if you would like to experience Bhava Samadhi, you can write to us at Being Shiva Foundation at yahoo.com. Okay, and I really wish all those people who are really high on emotion can actually go through it, experience that powerful thing. Okay, Namaste, Jai Shivaya.